waiting to go live on Facebook. And we are live on Facebook. Hey, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and it is time for Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. Welcome, everybody, to October 10th, 2020 edition. I believe it's our 26th show of Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. And I want to welcome all the people that are watching on Facebook right now. And I want to invite you, come on into our Zoom room. We have a lot of advantages to coming into the Zoom room. All you got to do is go to globalpeacetribe.com, www.globalpeacetribe.com, and register. And once you register and we have your email address, then you're going to immediately be able to come on into our Zoom room where it's easier for us to chat with you. And by having your email address, then every Monday you get an email with the video replay of our most recent show, plus how you can access all of our previous shows. So we really enjoy when people join us. And we also offer all sorts of extra goodies for the people who come on in and kind of become part of our community, because that's what we're doing. We're building community. So you get the show schedule, you get the new season, you get the replays, and you're also going to get gift packages from some of our presenters and access to over 15 live online shows through my company, Love Coach Academy. So definitely, please come on board and join us. Also, for those of you watching on Facebook, we're starting a new program. If you start a watch party on Facebook, through the whole show, just start a watch party. If you send a private message to me in Facebook, just Facebook private message me. I'm the only Scott Katamas on the planet, and I'm public, so I'm easy to find. I will then let me know, hey, Scott, this is Deborah. We've got a watch party going on in Kansas City. And I'll take note of it, and I'll acknowledge you during the show. So we're building community. Our theme is this. All of us, if you're listening, if you're in the Zoom room, if you're on Facebook, we all are the ones we've been waiting for. And this is the time we've all been preparing for. It's an extraordinary time on the planet. And this show is all about building the global peace tribe around the world. That's why we're going to bring you amazing speakers, incredible performers, musicians, even a magician. And also we're going to be supporting community by supporting people who have lost their homes in the recent California wildfires. And you're going to meet some of those people and have an opportunity to support them in a little while. And now it's my opportunity to turn the show over to my partner, the co-host and co-producing partner of the show, Deborah Giusti.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone to what is now our 27th show that we've produced every Saturday night since the lockdown. And it is the second show of our fall season, which we are doing from October to December. We're doing 13 new shows. Going to be amazing. We're going to share more about that later. And thank you so much for all your donations as you registered. This really helps us create a really high quality show for you and go for months on. So appreciate your donations so much. And again, this is going to be a really amazing show. Our theme is quantum healing, creating everyday miracles. So this is a really important theme for this times because miracles, with everything we're going through, is what we are really being inspired to manifest, to heal ourselves, to heal our lives, heal our communities, our nation, our world. And in these unprecedented times, which we are calling the cosmic reset, It's really inspiring us to create new ways of being for surviving and thriving, and creating miracles is definitely a part of that. When we comprehend the nature of human reality, we discover that miracles are not really that unique. They can be everyday experiences. And humanity is in the process of awakening to these higher truths and how consciousness is a directive power of our lives. So we've assembled a really incredible group of presenters tonight, speakers, musicians, and even a magician to really emphasize that theme and really teach about this. And I'll share with you now who we're going to have tonight. We are going to have Shiva Rae, who is an amazing yogini, firekeeper, sacred activist, global adventurer, and leading innovator of evolution of prana yoga flow and transformation of our vinyasa flow. We're also going to have Kimberly Meredith. She's an internationally acclaimed medium, healer, and fifth dimensional healer. We have Ajaya Summers. She's a gifted teacher, author, public speaker, and creative catalyst in the field of psycho-spiritual somatic integration. We are going to have Deepak Chopra. He couldn't be with us live, but he gave us an amazing transmission on this theme. He's really the master of that. And we're going to be supporting his foundation, the Chopra Foundation. We are also going to have Masa Jadi, who's a renowned consciousness programmer who had a near-death experience and is able to channel healings and working on multidimensional levels. Our musicians include Eostar and Matthias. They are the basis of Web of One, which is a 5-piece original psychedelic, devotional, transcendental dance rock fusion band. We have Madhu Azani and Eggman. And Madhu is a sound healer who learned from firsthand experience of being paralyzed as a quadriplegic and using sound and healing to completely recover. And he's going to tell us his story. We also have Jay Mayer, who is the sponsor, who's going to give us some incredible light touch musical offerings. We have mentalist and magician Paul Draper, who's a comedy presenter, mind reader, speaker. He's appeared on multiple TV shows. We also are going to have with us Steve Farrell. He's the producer of the amazing online summit that's coming up, The Power of Love, which we are going to share more about. And we're also going to feature Sydney Lay, who's a co-producer of G-Fest Rising Summit that's happening as well. And we're going to hear about that. And we have an incredible GoFundMe plan. If you've been with our show, you understand that we use the power of community and the power of green love, that's your donations that come in, to gather them and send them back to community to help incredible nonprofit organizations who are assisting us in this time, and also helping fire victims. There's incredible fires that are happening on the West Coast, and people are totally losing their homes, their lives. And through the power of your green love donating tonight, we're going to make a big difference in those people's lives, and they're going to share their stories from their hearts. The GoFundMe link will be posted on the website, but you can also go to GoFundMe and just type in Global Peace Tribe, and you'll see our GoFundMe list, and you can just donate at whatever level that you like, $10, $5, $50. Some people donate way more than that, and we give it all to the victims of the fire and the nonprofit organizations. So thank you so much for joining us. And I think now, Scott, we're going to have some music.
We are. All right, thank you. And just again, want to remind everybody, let us know where you're from. We've got a couple hundred people already in our Zoom room, and more people are coming in. If you're on Facebook, come on into our Zoom room. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. And once you're in the Zoom room, let us know where you're from. It's great to see people from all over the world. So our first musical artists, they're going to play a couple times tonight, are Madhu and Edgy. And I'm going to tell you all about them after their first song, but let's just get it going with some really dynamic music.
Semuyute tanchis huiracochan, hampi kamayok, pachacamac. Enter the space inside your head. See it as already infinite, expanding forever in every direction. Haile, Wilga, Hanak, Pachamanta, Saiwa. Praises and victory to the sacred shaft of light from the heavens. We welcome you, great power of the universe, world creator. Ahayo Pachamama, Ahayo Mamakia, Ahayo Viracocha, Ahayo Inti, Ahayo Cuichi. Raise it up now. Ahayo Machula Olanchis Kuna. We call to our grandmothers and our grandfathers, all the ancestors. Open the way, open the way. Keep open the way. Say enter the space inside your head. See it is already infinite, expanding forever and ever in every direction. Oh, enter the space inside your head. See it is already infinite, expanding forever and ever and ever in every direction. Oh, that spaciousness that you are is permeated by luminosity. Oh, that radiant light is the soul of the world. Luminosity, that spaciousness that you are, that luminosity, that spaciousness that you are, that luminosity, that spaciousness that you are, feel it, that luminosity. Enter the space inside your head. See it's already infinite, expanding forever and ever and ever in every direction. Oh, enter the space inside your head. See it's already infinite, expanding forever and ever and ever in every direction. Oh, that spaciousness that you are is permeated by luminosity. Yeah, this radiant light is the soul of the world. Remember this, that luminosity, that spaciousness that you are, that luminosity, it's the same as it ever was, it's the same as it ever was. breathe into it, give into it. This radiant light is the soul of the world. Radiant light is the soul of the world. Radiant light is the soul of the world. Same as it ever was. Sing it, sing it. Radiant light is the soul of the world. Radiant light is the soul of the world. Radiant light is the soul of the world. Say, we are here now. All one light is the soul of the world. We are here now. All one light within. Radiant light is the soul of the world. We are here now. All one light within. We are here now. All one light within. We are here now. All one light within. We are here now. All one light within.
Wow. Oh, you guys, thank you so, so much. What a beautiful way to start the show. And I want to tell you a little bit about Madhu. For those of you who came into the Zoom room early, we told his story. He healed himself. He was a quadriplegic, paralyzed, and through sound and energy healing, healed himself. That's why it's so important to have him on a show dedicated to quantum healing. And as you've all heard, his voice is otherworldly. He's studied jazz and world music. He has an incredible cross-cultural lens and blends all these different forms. And then his partner playing with him today, Ege, is a modern dervish who travels finding his own voice within world music, carrying the flag of his Turkish roots as a musician. And we're going to get to hear from them a little bit later on one more time. Guys, thank you for getting us such a great start. Thank you very, very much. I also want to just let everybody know that we're able to do this show tonight because of the very generous contribution of Jay Mayer and Light Touch. And you're going to get a chance to meet Jay. He might even take off those sunglasses. You might be able to actually see the man behind the shades. We love Jay a lot, and Jay has been a tremendous support to this show. So thank you. And he's the creator of Light Touch. And you're going to be learning all about Light Touch a little bit later. And now to introduce our next presenter, here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And again, thank you, Jay. Not only did he support this show, it was his idea for this theme. So we created this show because Jay wanted this theme to come on, and it's so appropriate for what we need to know right now. And he especially asked one of our favorite icons of yoga, Shiva Rae, to come on. So that's why we're so blessed to have Shiva Rae come on and really lead us to begin the show in a practice. And I want to share that we're doing a lot around the fire victims today. And Shiva right now just let me know that there's a fire about 4 miles from her house. And so she wasn't sure if she could stay on, but here she is. She's hanging in with us to transmit an amazing practice. And if you know Shiva, she's a yogini firekeeper. She's a sacred activist, a global adventurer, a leading innovator in the evolution of prana flow yoga and transformational vinyasa yoga. And she's known for bringing the roots of yoga alive for modern practitioners. You'll see her at all the major conferences and around the world leading retreats. And she's an incredible, beautiful spirit. Thank you so much, Shiva, for hanging in there and being with us at this special show at this special time. Shiva Rae.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Deborah. Can you hear me okay? Just lift your arms if you can hear me okay.
We can hear you.
Thank you, Scott and Deborah, Jay, and everyone. I want to say that was just an amazing opening, Madhu and Edgy. This is Dear Brother Sri Kala, followed by a beautiful chorus. And we're going into a universal movement meditation. I changed my music after I heard just that empowerment. And so I want to invite you to get up, come up, rise up. And it's true, you may even see some helicopters come by. So I want to say to everybody, as we bring our hands to our heart, you can see the sun is just set on the horizon. But this is our basic movement meditation. We keep rising again. We keep rising again. That is the everyday miracle. So your thumbs together, feet hip distance apart. As we slowly open our arms, we're feeling our kinesphere. The field, the electromagnetic, ever pulsating, changing. So our hands come together. Turn your hands downward, and as you exhale, decompress any dissonance, which is very natural in these times. So you find that steadiness towards the earth. Inhale from your feet, welcoming the breath together, opening this evening. Of course, in gratitude, here we are together in the quantum space, all over the world. So I'd like for you to feel with me a contemporary rhythm that we can merge the solar and the lunar, earth and sky. And if you like, take your feet a little wider so that your toes are out and your heels are in. And the same movement. And so now we're helping our hips to breathe, to open the roots. Now as our hands come down, we're going to change the mudra. This is Veera Mudra, as I've learned it in my Kalari, a sacred place for martial art practice of peace. Cross your arms. Your palms are open. Come to your heart. Now, emanate your hands, and let's breathe and move together. Cross your arms, feeling the courage from the inner fire emanate. Same time, stay steady. In that fierce grace. Now, let's take a break as we come up. You feel Prana Mudra. Slowly straighten your legs. And I want you to take a circle in the space and feel your family, your friends, and all creation, this global time. So we can go into a simple kriya. You draw your hands down to your heart. Feel that inner strength. And then radiate that to each other. And draw it back to your heart. And rise. Now you can either have your legs straight like this, moving. Or you can take your legs a little wider. Toes out, heels in. And emanate. Now, arms up. Exhale, bring it to the heart. Emanate. Now we're ready. Let's pick it up. Reaching up to the heart, to each other, to the heart. Reaching up to the heart. Reaching through the space. And of course, there's one more level. Breathing and moving together. Plugging in. Veera means actually potentiality, the courage to be, to breathe, to move. And even as the music slows down, we can feel this rhythm, the solar rhythm now within the lunar rhythm. So as your arms reach up, straighten your legs. And again, feel through space. Bring your hands back to your heart. So I'd like to offer movement meditation that has no prerequisite. Lift your arms. Wahe. Draw your hands back to your heart. To the earth. If you like, you can come in Malasana, bowing forward. From that fierce grace, receive breath. Bring it back to our heart. Emanate compassion, love through space. To the heart, to the earth. Inhale. Exhale. To the earth. Inhale. Now potentiality. To the earth. If you like, bow all the way forward. Give thanks. So together, let's enjoy our last few moments. In these soulful times, let's take refuge in the moment, the miracles, the shifts, the insights, the wisdom in action. So I'm praying, let's pray together. Bring our hands down, touch the earth. Feeling each other through space, my brothers and sisters. And then coming up, and one more time, open your arms in Prana Mudra. And following this beautiful artist, Jen Rose, make a circle around your body. Let's be open this moment, this evening together. I'm going to ring the bell. Thank you, Sri Kala. And as your hands come to your heart, just in the space of silence, praying for the health and safety, wisdom, potentiality in all beings, rising together this important month. Thank you so much from my heart. Let us whisper Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you. And much love to all the artists who are coming, and to Deepak Chopra, to everyone, my respects and love.
Shiva Rae, thank you so much. I'm actually going just to your website because there's so many things that you gift us with. You gift us with being a very positive model of you know, the greatest healing of all is self-love, self-care. And you're such a beautiful model for self-love and self-care. And you've also been such an incredible support person to building community. So there's so many things that Shiva Rae is providing. She's participating in a lot of events. And I want to encourage everybody to go to her website, Shiva Rae, her name, ShivaRea.com. And that's where you can learn all about her different resources that she provides, her calendar, all the things that she's doing. And, you know, thank you so much, Shiva Rae. You have absolutely just become a very, very important part of our community. And I also want to mention that one way you can see more of Shiva Rae is she's participating in the Disclosure Fest Foundation event, which is happening this weekend. And for those of you that are regulars on our show, you know, we've been promoting Portal to Ascension and Disclosure Fest. They had the weekends back to back. And so definitely want to invite everybody tomorrow. There's still time to see Shiva Rae and others on the Disclosure Fest Foundation show. You know, it's interesting, she mentioned that fires are very close to her home. And fires are a very big part of many of our lives right now. I've been evacuated twice in the last 5 weeks. I live in Northern California. But I'm lucky. My home is still here. I'm back in my home today. But a lot of people have not been so lucky. And so through our GoFundMe campaign, we have been raising thousands of dollars every week through your donations to support fire victims. And I want to introduce you to our first person that's going to be with us tonight, one of our recipients. Ironically, he's a fire chief. This is Michael Musgrove. He's a fire chief, and he was out fighting one fire when all of a sudden a different end of that fire took his entire beautiful property, his dream home that he had just purchased. And Michael, I've got some photos that I've hopefully pulled up here that I'm going to show just to kind of give people a sense of the experience. So here we go. So these are pictures of his property before the fire. And it was a very large property that he bought as a land project with several other friends. They all came together, and then the wildfires hit. And it's really impossible to imagine the depth of these fires, but to give you some sense, the California wildfire season is already burned over 4 million acres, which is more than twice as many as any other fire season before. And this is Michael and his land partners when they finally went to see their property and what was left of it. It's devastating, absolutely devastating. And so we've invited Michael to just share briefly about his experience here. And we want to invite everybody to please be very generous in your support of Michael and our other fire recipients today. And I'm going to put the spotlight on you, Michael.
Thanks for having me on, Scott. Appreciate it. Yeah, just to start off, little correction, fire captain. It's a rank below, but just as important, all the ranks throughout, from firefighter all the way up to chief. But yeah, my experience, this dream that we had, this dream property with my brother, his family, a close family friend of ours, Natasha, and her kids, 5 kids total, had this dream to buy this land, and we were able to get it on the Wednesday before the fires hit. It had 3 livable structures. We were all going to go up there. The plan was to get in there and raise our own food, raise our own animals, get back to the land, have a connection for our children and beyond. And, you know, in today's society with different things that happen with the teens, I felt like this would be a great opportunity to kind of get them moving, have a purpose. And so we were able to secure the property the Wednesday before the fires. And unfortunately, the hard part was that we're uninsurable. We were not able to get insurance on the property. And then Sunday night, the fires came in. There was an all call. I work in town here in Santa Rosa, and I went into work, and I immediately got assigned over in Oakmont to evacuate the senior center, along with other fire department personnel, police, ambulance services. It's an assisted living place. And then, right after that, went right into structure protection, because the fire was going into the Oakmont area. And kind of in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh gosh, I can't go to that property. I'm just hoping for the best and trying to concentrate on my job and continue to do structured defense all throughout the next day. And so about 3:30 the next day, on Monday, I was in the same division of where my property was, and was able to go up there and check on it. And it was devastating, to say the least. It was a total loss in terms of the structures, and like my heart just sunk. And I knew that, the hardest part was to inform the other families. And then, I had to just put it in my back pocket and get back to work. In this work, you really have to be focused on what you're doing. And so I was able to just kind of like put it aside, put my emotions aside, and just continue working for the community, and alongside of all the other firefighters that were out there battling that fire. So.
Well, thank you, Fire Captain, for really, it's unbelievable what you guys do every day in incredibly difficult circumstances. And we've had 100-degree heat here in California, the incredible smoke that's so hard on the lungs. And I just want to acknowledge that I got a chance to get to know Michael a little bit earlier, and he's got a very big heart, and his big heart that not only suffered through the loss of his dream property, but a year ago, the loss of his daughter. And so it's impossible for any of us to imagine losing a child, but losing a child and then a year later losing your property, it's just extraordinary what you've gone through, Michael.
Yeah, we lost Olivia last October 2nd. So it was just a few days. The fire was a few days before then. And, when you have these anniversaries, it really reminds you of kind of that anxiety, that pain, some of the suffering that you go through when you lose a child. And, we started a GoFundMe account as well, under my name. A friend of mine, Sonia, started it, and she had wrote out, the narrative and included that portion of the story about my daughter in the struggle. And I was really on the fence on whether I wanted to include that in the GoFundMe. And at the time, I wasn't really clear on why I decided to do it. But as I'm doing more of this, my story's getting out there. It gave me a platform to really kind of like help other people's in a similar situation. And so I can go through that process if you would like, and share that part of me if we have time for that.
Yeah, I'd love to, if I can, bring you back a little bit later on in the show.
Okay.
To talk about that part. And for right now, I just want to acknowledge you, and you are an extraordinary man, and that you are going through these hardships and all about building community, continuing to build community is very powerful, and it's a lesson for us all. And I want to encourage everyone, please, let's be generous in supporting Michael and his family, his community get back on their feet. Deborah has put the links to our GoFundMe into the chat box, both on Facebook, on Unify. Welcome everybody watching on Unify, and in our own Zoom room. And or you can just go to GoFundMe and put in Global Peace Tribe. And all money raised tonight will go to our fire recipients, and also a nonprofit organization we're going to tell you about a little bit later. And we'll come back to Michael a little bit later in the show. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
One of my very, very favorite musicians are Eostar and Matthias. And knowing that we were going to be supporting fire victims tonight, I thought to myself, oh my God, if we can have Eostar and Matthias come on and play some music as we really drop into our hearts and feel what these people are going through. And not only are they going to be with us to play, but the song that they've chosen is most appropriate. So it's my pleasure now to turn it over to my dear friends, Eo Star and Matthias. And I believe the name of the song is Help is on the Way. We can't hear you.
There we go. All right, perfect.
Everybody, that was a really, really moving story, and I just want to say my heart goes out to everybody who is in a situation like this, and just a reminder: help is always on the way.
Yeah, we'll give thanks and pray for those miracles to come.
One day you'll find that all the things you tried so hard to get come easy when the time is right. One day you'll find that all the fruits you tried so hard to reach fall easy is already on the way.
God bless you two so much. I want for people to know that Eostar and Matthias are based out of San Francisco, and they have a band called Web of One. It's a 5-piece original. It's a psychedelic, devotional, transcendental dance rock fusion band, and their ecstatic, guaranteed to make you dance music really highlights Eostar's conscious devotional lyrics and hypnotic melodies with Matthias's transcendental and improvisational lead guitar work. And they really lead us through so many different places, which we're so grateful for.
Thank you so much, Scott. Yeah, appreciate that. Mostly we're playing as a duo these days. So, and we have some guests that join us occasionally. But if people want to join us after this show is completely over, go to Eostar's Facebook page and we'll play a couple tunes live after this event is completely over.
And that's Eostar Kamala, like Kamala Harris.
Yes, but thanks for having us and many blessings.
Yeah, and you're gonna be on for one more song, so we don't confuse people. Free downloads of your music is at eostarandmatthias.com. But for more live performance tonight, go to eostarkamala.com, and that's where you're going to be playing.
Facebook, Eostar Kamala Facebook page.
Eostar Kamala Facebook page. Okay, and we'll make sure we put that into the chat box and the Zoom box.
Thank you so much, and we'll give our prayers and all the firefighters that have just done so much. We've been so affected by the fires here. So yeah, just give generously to this beautiful soul that lost so much, and yeah, thanks for everything you have.
Thank you both very, very much. All right, and we'll see you all a little bit later on the show. Deborah, do you want to introduce and do the bio for Deepak?
Yes. So now we get to hear from a master teacher of quantum healing. Deepak Chopra has been described by Time magazine as one of the top 100 heroes and icons of the century. And he's the author of over 89 books, translated into over 43 languages. His 90th book, a national bestseller, Metahuman, Unleashing Your Infinite Power, unlocks the secrets to moving beyond our present limitations and accessing a field of infinite possibilities. He's also the founder of the Chopra Foundation, which is the nonprofit entity that we are funding that researches on well-being and humanitarianism. And unfortunately, he had something personal come up tonight, so he could not be with us, but he took the time to tape a very important special message on quantum healing, especially for us. So that's what we're going to get to hear tonight. And Scott, are you ready to show that amazing transmission from Deepak Chopra?
I sure am, and I want to encourage everybody to really pay close attention to what he shares, because you're about to get an extraordinary download of teaching about what quantum healing really means.
Hello, my friends. I'm so happy to be with you again. Today's topic is quantum healing. And I believe there are a lot of luminaries participating, so very happy that quantum healing has become mainstream. So before I say anything, I should just mention that I originally used this word in 1988. I originally coined the expression quantum healing with this book that I wrote in 1988. And it was vilified, it was criticized by mainstream, and I was attacked by many people for using this phrase, quantum healing. Since then, Dr. Amit Goswami has used this phrase. Dr. Amit Goswami is a physicist. And now, many years later, 1988, so it's 2022. So we can say 30 years later, quantum healing has been reissued with an introduction by Dr. Rudy Tanzi, who is a geneticist at Harvard and a neuroscientist. With all the knowledge that we have today about epigenetics, I think we can say quantum healing has become mainstream. But most people don't actually understand that the phrase quantum healing is used metaphorically, as is everything that we do in science. Scientific explanations are models for experienced reality. And experienced reality comes only in the form of sensations, perceptions, images, feelings, and thoughts. Once again, every experience you have is either a sensation or a perception or an image or a feeling or a thought. And of course, these have their source in pure consciousness. So if we understand consciousness as the ontological primitive, then we realize that everything that we call a physical entity is actually a phenomenon. Everything that you call a physical entity is a phenomenon. So my body looks physical, but it's a phenomenon. It's an intermittent stream of sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. That's all it is. And it is not a constant entity. So everyone's body begins as a fertilized ovum, and then it becomes a zygote, and then an embryo, and then an infant, and then a baby, and a toddler, and on, baby, infant, toddler, teenager, adult, and gets older, and then finally dies. So where is the body here? Which body do you have? If you say, I have a body, then which one? The body is an activity. It's a verb. It's not a noun. And the experience of the body is an intermittent stream of sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, period. Okay. What about the mind? The mind is also an intermittent stream of thoughts and emotions. So we said, do you have a fixed mind? Obviously not. The mind has been defined as an embodied and relational process that regulates the flow of energy and information in the body. But the body itself is also both embodied and relational. We don't have a fixed body. Okay, every time you look at a body, it's like taking a selfie and forgetting the self. Literally, also, when you define somebody's personality, it's like taking a selfie of their mind and calling it the self. The self is much more than mind and body. It's the source of all experience. And body and mind are one unit. So just like wave and particle are one unit, mass and energy are one unit, space and time are one entity, so is body and mind, but it's an entity that's a phenomenon, even though it appears as a form. So this is true, by the way, of everything. Every form is a phenomenon, and every phenomenon, at least as far as our biology is concerned, is the arising and subsiding of an intermittent stream of sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts. And once we understand that, then we can also see that these experiences, this is what we call experience. Sensation is an experience. Hardness, softness, brightness, color. These are all sensations or sense perceptions. But as we look at any form, we'll see that the form itself is the arising and subsiding of sensations, images, feelings, thoughts. And what is the source? The source is pure consciousness. So what is quantum healing? It is going to the source. Okay. The source of thought is also the source of perception. It's also the source of emotions. It's also the source of any experience. It's also the source of how we define things. So labels and descriptions and metaphors all Where are they conceived? In consciousness. So consciousness conceives, governs, constructs, and becomes everything that we call reality, including the reality of our body and our mind. And when we go to this source through meditation, and there are many ways to meditate. My new book, Total Meditation, goes into the whole range of meditative practices, including self-reflection, self-inquiry, understanding the role of emotional intelligence and self-regulation, understanding the meaning of joy, empathy, compassion, love, truth, goodness, beauty, harmony, but most importantly, understanding that when we go to the source of thought, then we encounter the source of all experience. And if we don't interfere with that, that is the source of what we call quantum healing. Now, in physics, of course, the word quantum means the smallest indivisible unit of energy, in which waves of energy are emitted or absorbed. But using it as a metaphor for the body, a quantum of experience is what we call a qualia, quality of awareness. So colors, shapes, forms are all qualia, as are tastes and smells and textures and sounds, but also emotions, thoughts, feelings, and even imagination. They're all qualia. Qualia means qualities of awareness, which means awareness, pure consciousness, modifying itself as those experiences. By modifying our experiences in the direction of truth, goodness, beauty, harmony, love, compassion, joy, equanimity, but most importantly, through transcendence of all experience. So experience can be perception of the world, it can be interoception, knowing what's happening inside the body, but it can also be emotions or feelings and thoughts, and all these are entangled with each other, and they're all modified forms of pure consciousness. So what is pure consciousness? Pure consciousness has the following characteristics. Number one, it's a field of infinite possibilities. Number two, it's a field of non-local correlation, which means everything is correlated with everything else. Today, we also call that entanglement, synchronicity, superposition, but basically everything is inseparably one with everything else. And number three, pure consciousness is unpredictable. We can't say what our next thought will be or our next experience will be. Number four, pure consciousness is infinitely creative because it is unpredictable. Direct correlation between unpredictability and creativity. And finally, it's the source of attention and intention. So once we understand these are the qualities of pure consciousness, we can modify pure consciousness into any experience through a combination of sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, perceptions. The key is transcendence, going beyond thought, going beyond the secret passages, the dark alleys, the ghost-filled attics of the mind, and going to the source of all experience, and then abiding there with a subtle intention. In yogic traditions, this is called Dharna. Dharna means focused awareness, focused attention. Dhyan, which means meditation, and Samadhi, which means transcendence. This is the key. If we can do that, and this also has a Sanskrit word for it, it's called sankalpa. Sankalpa means subtle intention. So unlike the Western ontological frameworks that we have about reality, where the ontological primitive of the universe is matter, we in the Eastern wisdom traditions say that matter is just a convenient metaphor for modified forms of consciousness. And the key to healing is actually getting to the source. That includes social and emotional intelligence, that includes withdrawal of the senses, that includes controlled breathing, that includes mind-body coordination through yogasanas, but it also includes interoception, which is withdrawal of the senses. And then Dharna, Dhyan, Samadhi. These are the 8 limbs of practice that get us to the source of all experience. In that source of all experience is least entropy. And there is homeostasis. Homeostasis means self-regulation, which means hormones are being self-regulated, immune function is being self-regulated, everything, body temperature is being regulated. So if you want to use a simple word for quantum healing, it would be the return to the memory of wholeness, or return to homeostasis, or return to source, or return to the presence of being. Now, of course, there are a lot of nuances, and I outlined them in my books on meditation, which include understanding the whole totality of awareness, awareness of five senses, awareness of the body, awareness of the interior of the body, awareness of mental space, awareness of the web of relationship, awareness of the ecosystem, which we call the biosphere, of which we are an expression, and ultimately awareness of awareness. And when we get to that, then we are holy, we are whole, and we are healed. And that healing is ultimate healing. It means we find freedom in our inner being, and understand that our inner being, our true self, is independent of all experience. It's independent of anything that we can call a perception or a sensation or an image or a thought. And in that freedom is wholeness, self-regulation, the return of the memory of who we really are. The word whole, the word healing, and the word whole, healing, whole, are the same. When we return to presence, to source, we are holy and we are healed. And at that moment, there is transcendence. We experience our true nature as beyond space, time, and causality. We also experience the emergence of platonic values like truth, goodness, harmony, and we lose the fear of death because the true self is not subject to birth and death. The true self is formless, and being formless, it is infinite and is constantly modifying itself into finite experiences. But as long as we are aware that every finite experience has a source in the infinite, and that infinite source of being is actually the true self, beyond our ego mind, beyond our socially constructed identity as an ego body mind squeezed into the volume of a body or the span of a lifetime. When we go beyond that, we are healed. That's what quantum healing is. So all the best, my friends. Join this whole movement of understanding that the physical body is actually a projection of the subtle body, and the subtle body is a projection of the causal body, and the causal body itself is the projection of infinite, formless, unbounded, eternal, timeless being, which is our inner self. Thank you, and God bless.
Well, thank you, Deepak. Wow. I mean, that's like an incredible just download of incredible information. And certainly something I invite people. I know that's the third time I've listened to it today. When I recorded it, I listened to it and played it for a friend, and now remarkable wisdom. Thank you. So we're going to, again, I want to acknowledge that Jay Mayer is a sponsor of the show. And we're going to now learn all about, throughout the night, all about light touch, this incredible thing that he created. And I've been personally doing it for quite a while. And to introduce you, here's a little video that we made up all about the power of light touch, which is really a way for us to experience quantum healing directly. So here we go. Create peace in the world by creating peace in our relationships. And light touch is the most powerful, simple practice that can help us to calm our own nervous system and be ready to really connect. Even when somebody is throwing something difficult at you, even when somebody is off center, light touch helps me to get centered, to remember that great spirit is flowing through me, to feel my connection to the earth, to feel my connection to my heart. I've also witnessed how light touch has helped so many couples go from being angry, hurt, and aggressive to gently reconnecting. It's a beautiful way to reconnect. So please, take a look, go down to our website, and discover how light touch can support you and your relationships. And thank you for watching.
Divine appointments.
Now, what are divine appointments? Hopefully, divine appointments are what we're having with all of you right now. It's a wonderful term that Jay has coined, where synchronicities take place. Remember how Deepak was talking about synchronicities? And so it's a divine appointment that all of you, the 300 plus people in the Zoom room, everybody watching on Facebook, we're all having a divine appointment with each other right now. I want to take a moment to go back to a little bit of what's going on with our GoFundMe tonight and support for our fire victims. And so I'm going to bring on two people. I'm going to bring on Diana. And here we go. There you are, Diana. And also, there we go. Here's Miranda. I'm not going to show photos. I think you guys by now have the idea. But Miranda also lost her home. And her friend Diana is here to share a little bit more about the story. So Diana, if you could go ahead and unmute yourself. And Miranda, you can also unmute. And Diana, tell us a little bit about what an amazing human being Miranda is. I know she's been a very influential person in your life.
Yeah, yes, she has. Yeah, Miranda we've been friends for about 3 years, I think, by the time I moved back after graduating. And I actually met her through my mom. And the reasoning for that is that I had lost my place to live. I needed a place to stay. Miranda was the one that took me in, like when nobody else would, not even my friends. She has been so gracious, even through us helping her. Like, we don't ask for anything in return. Even, she just is happy to be around our family and is so amazing throughout this whole process, even throughout losing her home. Like, she's handled it extraordinarily well for someone who's like lost everything. But she at this point, I would say she's like one of my closest friends, and that's that's saying something. I don't have a lot, so.
And Miranda, is there anything you'd like to say to our audience as they get to know you?
I'm a disabled veteran. I was in the military. I was a cop in the military during 9/11, and I ended up breaking my neck in the military. So hearing the stories earlier today really touched me, especially the musician. I don't remember exactly his name because I do have a traumatic brain injury. But music has helped me through so much, and listening to the musicians today, it was just really powerful, because that's one of the things that I did, healing, was listening to music. And that's something that I do a lot to calm myself down and get into, a okay mindset. So yeah, I pretty much lost everything in the fire. I had all my kids' stuff in there. Those are the things that are really, really devastating to lose. Their little handprints and their little, their messages when they were kids. Like my son, we were in a, because me and my ex-husband were in the military, so they had they lived on a military base, and so they got little awards for being good kids. And those are the items that, like, and their pictures and my military stuff, everything that I had done in the military is gone. And all of my I wanted to be a social worker, so I went and got my degree at UNLV in Las Vegas, to be a social worker. And I have a 18 well, my daughter will be 18 this month, and I have a 16-year-old son.
Wow. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for your service to our country, being in the military, and the price you paid with a brain injury. And may this show, not only may we support you financially, but may you also maybe pick up some tools or some tips, because quantum healing is real. And I think that we might be able to provide some support to you in that way as well. And God bless you so much. Thank you for being with us. I want to just ask everybody out there, please be generous in your donations. Go to the GoFundMe link that Deborah has put into the chat box, both on Facebook, on Unify, in our Zoom room. And all the money we raise tonight is going to Miranda, Michael, who you met earlier, and also to the Deepak Chopra nonprofit organization that we'll tell you about a little bit later on tonight. God bless you, Miranda. Thank you so much for being with us. And thank you, Diana, for coming and speaking on her behalf. And I'm now going to turn it over to my partner, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you for all your donations. Donations are coming in, and we'd love to have more. Thank you for your green love. And on the show, it's Saturday Night Alive, so we like to have fun. And one of the best ways is to bring on magic, because that's exactly what we're talking about with quantum healing, is really creating the magic. So we have an amazing magician happening. Paul Draper is a comedy presenter. He's a mind reader. He's a speaker, and he's appeared on many TV shows, the History Channel, A&E, HBO, Hallmark. He's also appeared with very famous magicians like David Copperfield, Lance Burton, Teller and Penn. And he's here to share with us the magic of quantum healing. And he's also wanting to engage some of our panelists, I understand. So thank you, Paul, for being with us. Paul
Hey,
Draper.
thank you so much for having me. Do you have somebody who wants to play, preferably someone who's never met me?
Who wants to play with Paul right now? Steve, would you be willing? Okay, Jan, perfect. And do you need
No, Jan. Jan, I just showed up a few minutes ago. I didn't show up to the pre-mic check. You and I have never met. Is that right?
That's true. What's your name? Paul?
Paul Draper. And where's home for you, Jan?
Richmond, California.
Richmond, California. Now, Jan, over here, I have a prediction. I have a prediction rolled up right there. I have some symbols that I've written down on the back of some big cards here, and I want you to look at them and just tell me a number from 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
I'll say 6.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right there, you chose the arrow. Of all the symbols, that's the one you wanted. Now, right here, Jan, I have a prediction, and it's been sitting here this whole time. And on this prediction is written one symbol and one symbol only. The arrow! Excellent job, Jan. Thank you so much for choosing that. Now, Jan, I want you to take this a step further with me. I want you to really be a psychic. Have you ever used these ESP cards before?
No, I have
Now,
never. No.
What do you do for a living, Jan?
Well, I'm a media consultant.
You're a media consultant. Okay, good. That's a good job. The media is still around. Now, you might remember these from Dr. Rhine at Duke University or from Dr. Venkman on Ghostbusters. We have pluses and circles, stars and wavy lines and squares right here. Jan, do you want the pile my hand is over, or do you want the other pile?
I'll take the pile your hand is over.
Okay, that's going to be your pile. I'll mix these up. Jan, I really need you to be a psychic here with me. I'll place one card right here. Of all the cards, plus, circle, star, wavy lines, or square, what one is that?
It's a wavy line.
Jan, we didn't set this up beforehand, right?
No,
The audience has to trust you. Are you a trustworthy person?
I think I am.
Good. We're putting your trustworthiness on the line right here. I placed down one card. You chose one card. The wavy lines, Jan. Here, Jan, let's do it again. Let's do it again, and let's take it a step further. I'll mix these up again, Jan. This is strange, mind to mind, across these vast distances. Are we to believe books like that we can communicate across the distance, thought to thought? Like mutant messages from down under? What's that card right there, Jan?
Is it the plus sign?
Do you want to change your mind?
No, I think I'll.
Happy with the mind you have, Jan? I don't want them to think it's a random chance. We're going to do the whole deck. Anytime you want, say stop.
Stop.
Right there. What's that card, Jan?
The star.
The star. Now, I want to point out, you said the first one is the plus, the second is the star, and I don't have the plus or the star in my hand. Here, let's go again. Let's go again.
Wow.
Mix them up, mix them up. Jan, what's that card?
Could that be the square?
The square. Good. Last choice. Then the final two have to match. What's that one?
The wavy line.
The wavy lines. Now, Jan, if you've done this correctly, I have one card in my hand. One, and one card here. And those two cards match, Jan. 100%. Not only that, but everybody saw just how well you did just a moment ago. You said that we have the two stars, the two pluses. Not only that, but we have the wavy lines, the squares. Psychic Jan, give her a round of applause. Great job, Jan. Bring Jan to Las Vegas. Jan, it's important when you come to Las Vegas. If you want to have the best odds in the house, play the change machines. You'll always break even. I'll be back again a little bit later. Thanks so much for playing with me.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, Paul. That was really, really fun. Jan, you got a new profession, a media consultant and a magician and a mentalist, right?
A psychic. Yes, I think I'll be putting my shingle up. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So you created, look what you created, Paul. Well, I want to again just say that tonight we're doing a lot of understanding of light touch. And I want to thank everybody for their very, very generous donations. And Jay has done it again. Jay donated $1,250 just now. So God bless you, Jay. Thank you so, so much for your incredible generosity. It just blows me away. It's just remarkable. Thank you very much, Jay. And so he also has created some music videos for us. And so this is a brand new one. And as you watch this, I just want to invite everybody that light touch is combining gently touching ourselves, or if we have a partner, another, and doing affirmations and dropping into gratitude. And so here's a moment for us now to all practice light touch at home. As you watch this, you can drop into the beauty of the visuals, enjoy the music, perhaps even gently awaken your senses, and let's all just practice gratitude. We have come into our mid-show announcements. And Deborah, I'm going to need to have us reverse the order because we changed our GoFundMe and I'm not getting the emails anymore. So I'm going to have to go to, I just discovered that. I have to go to GoFundMe and take a look. And I want to read all of our donors. But while I do that, if you would be willing to do your part of the mid-show announcements first.
Yes, no problem. First of all, I want to thank all our donors. It's so amazing to be able to do this and get community from all over to help and focus on those people of need. So thank you so much for your donations. And it really makes a difference to everyone. We're able to give a significant amount of money, and we really appreciate that. And also thank you for the donations when you register, because it's allowed us to create a whole new season, committing to do 13 more shows for you, which is amazing. We never knew this was going to happen when we started, but there's been so much support from you and so much support from the universe and from the higher forces. We're just going to keep producing this positive show. So would love to share with you about our new show coming up. Next week on October 17th, our theme is going to be creating our new world, activating the divine feminine within us. So as we know, the power of the feminine is coming back to us and coming through all of us. So this is going to be a true activation of this principle. And synchronistically, there's going to be a lot of women's events happening that weekend. Didn't even know that when we planned for it, but it's going to be happening. The Women's March is happening all over the world, all over the United States, and it's going to be a really incredible force. And during that show, also, we're going to have incredible luminaries such as Kaya Ra. Matt Kahn is going to be the sacred masculine, affirming the divine feminine in us all. Laura Eisenhower, Elizabeth Wilcock, Camille Mortiz, Andrea Loves. We're also going to have musical appearances by Suzanne Sterling, Felicia Rose, Sarita, and we're going to have a collective tarot reading for the collective of the divine feminine and all of us right live online. We're also going to have some sacred dance from Halo Soranko. And then October 24th, we're going to have reality creation and new earth manifesting. October 31st is actually Halloween. So we're going to have a really fun show with all kinds of wacky surprises. We hope everyone comes dressed in costume. November 7th is going to be post-election recovery. So whatever happens, we're going to take the positivity of what is and see what we can do and the solutions we have before us. November 14th, we're bringing back another really popular show, Wisdom of the Indigenous. On November 21st is family time around Thanksgiving. So we're going to do a show on creating community, and that includes in communities that we live with and tribal communities and all sense of community. December 5th is going to be Secrets of Ancient History. December 12th, Relationship Mastery. December 19th, we're going to focus on winter solstice activation, very sacred time. And December 26th, we're going to do a review of all the shows that we've done throughout the year. So it's going to be really incredible. Thank you so much. And another thing that we're going to use this show from, because of what's happening, and we've all gone virtual, especially some of the festivals that can't have live events, there is an incredible wealth of virtual festivals happening now. So we want to highlight some of those for you every show and share with you which are our top picks of the virtual festivals coming up. One event that's coming up starting next weekend that's going for 8 days, it's called The Power of Love. Shout out love. It's being produced by the Humanities team. And it's the actual 8th annual online summit that Humanity team has produced. And it's going to be an incredible array of high-level speakers, including the Dalai Lama, Marianne Williamson, Sri Ravi Shankar, Greg Braden, Michael Beckwith, Neil Donald Walsh, kind of a who's who of the whole potential movement. And so we'd like to share with you a video first, and then I'm going to bring on the producer, Steve Farrell, to share more about it.
I believe that there's a clear path to the kind of life that we each want to live, personally and collectively. A journey that empowers us, supports our personal passions, and that creates a flourishing world. I feel certain of this, and in fact, this was the very reason that Humanities Team was launched in 2003 to help bring this dream to fruition. But I don't want to step away from the severe challenges that we all can see that are out there. We're now at a decision point moment. We could spiral down into regression or up into conscious evolution, planetary awakening and flourishing. Join us.
Incredible. So thank you. And I want to bring Steve Farrell on, who's the director of Humanities Team and is producing this event for 11 years. And now this seems to be the epic one, so important for our times. Steve, welcome. Would you like to share more about what we're going to experience with the power of love?
I would. Yes, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. And congratulations on just such a great program in this series. So as you mentioned, this is called The Power of Love, Resetting Humanity to a New Way of Living on the Earth. And it starts with a live program next Saturday, October 17th, first in the morning, 8:30 to 9 a.m. Pacific. And then it's repeated in the evening, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Pacific. And shout out love. So it's this moment where all over the world, we're shouting out love out the window into Zoom to our family, to our friends, to ourselves. Love! This experiential thing. So we're not just talking about love, we're starting the summit with something experiential where it's a Horton Hears the Who type moment. If you've seen that little Disney thing where they're shouting out, we are here, except that we're shouting out love. So that's how the program starts. It's live. You can register at globalonenesssummit.org, globalonenesssummit.org. And you can come into the morning program, the evening program. As you mentioned, Deborah, it's 8 days. So there are 24 programs over 8 days. The whole thing is free. The Shout Out Love is free. The summit's free. If you register and you're not there for the broadcast over the 8 days, the 24 programs, we'll send you viewing links so you can watch any of the programs at your leisure. And they're amazing speakers, like some on this program that are they're all volunteering their time coming in because it's important that we make this big pivot now. It's what this Saturday Night Alive program is about, this big pivot to conscious living from unconscious living that's created all of this massive dysfunction on the earth. Now it ends then with a free video series with Barbara Marx Hubbard, because as you know, and she passed, of course, in her physical life a year and a half ago, but her whole life was devoted to this big pivot, this whole new humanity and this new earth. So the Global Oneness Summit will then move into the free video series with her following the summit. And just invite you all to come and join us, be part of the live program, and enjoy the viewing. And together, hey, let's make this pivot. Let's reset humanity to a new way of living on the earth.
Thank you, Steve. Incredible work that you've done. Incredible offering for us all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
And we have one more offering for you that's going to happen next weekend as well. And this again is in the spirit of the Divine Feminine Rising. This is an event called G-Fest, Goddess Rising. And Sydney Lee is going to come and share about it. It's standing for feminine wisdom, supporting women's empowerment, strong leadership, inspiring healing, honoring the earth, amplifying myopic voices, rooted in embodiment, creating community. And it's going to have amazing women speakers and musicians and luminaries. And Sydney, she is one of the co-producers, and I'd like to bring her on to share a little bit from her heart of what we're going to be experiencing during this incredible presentation next weekend. And I will post all the links in the chat room like I usually do.
Thank you so much. Deborah, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, hi everybody. What a blessing to be here in this quantum space with you all. That's a real big passion of mine, is the change that we can walk into. And I really felt called to gather with women. This has been an ongoing event, and now first time online, that we're going to be bringing you from your living room to Washington, D.C., where the Women's March will be happening. And, you know, really being the anchors of embodying the change that we want to see moving forward. And so I really love what you guys bring here, and really to invite women of all ages. This is an event for intergenerational women to come together, to free their voices, to stand. And we call this Women Rise, G-Fest Women Rise event. And that's October 17th through the 18th. It's going to start off as, it's a free event on Zoom, and the first 100 women that decide to register tonight will be able to be inside that Zoom room with us from 10 a.m. on Saturday through the evening till 9 p.m. And then Sunday morning, we'll have a beautiful event that will support and celebrate the sacred feminine, rise of women in deep times of change that we're in. I'm in Oregon, which the fires have ran through here. You know, my producer who is in Mount Shasta, we've had fires, and, you know, just really honored what you're bringing today. So this event will really be hosted with a panel that will be a priestess discussion roundtable about feminine wisdom in these times of change and rising to that, with a Q&A so people can really interact. And then we're going to have musicians that night, Diane Patterson, who you might all know, who's been on this show, who will be in DC at the march. So we'll have some live footage and special guests that she'll be singing and joining her. Gina Renee from Santa Cruz, Nagavali, Eastern Soul, Kirtan music from India, Joanna Beekman, who's been on the Bhakti path for a long time, and gospel. And basically, you know, sharing from this historic point of in Washington, D.C., to really have women voices be heard and stand in that container together. So I hope that you all will join us. We'll have Reverend Deborah from Santa Cruz speaking as our keynote speaker on Sunday morning, and a BIPOC panel. So please come join us if you really want to get anchored in this container with us. And basically, you go to gfest.life. And thank you so much for having me tonight. Look forward to seeing you all there.
Thank you.
All right. Well, there's a lot going on. It's incredible how so many people are coming together, creating these remarkable online digital events. So thank you both, Steve and Sydney. Excuse me. This is always kind of a tender part of the show for me. So much I actually got choked up. When I really drop into how you're supporting, you, all of you, coming in to support our fire recipients today. Thank you. And as I think about what they're going through, imagine losing your home, losing everything. It's really unthinkable unless you've experienced it. So I'm going to now give appreciation to the people who've donated. Again, I just want to lead by thanking Jay Mayer for the incredible donation of $1,250. I'm not going to mention the amounts that other people have donated, but I'm going to read your names. And a lot of people are donating anonymously. So I want to thank all of the anonymous donors. God bless you. All right, I want to thank Dorothy, Amy, Thelma, Mary Lee, a lot of anonymouses, Joyce, Kim, Joanne, Thomas, Carrie, Marlene, Jill, Iona, Karen, Susan, Annalise, Loretta, Cherie, Chris, Peter, Alan, Jan Kaplan. Thank you, Jan. A lot of anonymous, Amy and Jane. Thank you all so much for your very generous donations. It really means a lot. And again, everything raised tonight is going to go to our recipients, and also the Deepak Chopra nonprofit, which you'll hear about in a few minutes. I also want to thank our broadcast partners. We're streaming out every week. It seems like we have new partners. And so I want to welcome our newest partner. It's the Whole Person Summit and Earthwalk. They are our new broadcast partners. They've been doing an amazing show all day, and then they're kind of capping that show with our event. And then after our event, we're going to go back to them. They're going to have a little completion ceremony. So anybody who's watching as part of the Whole Person Summit and Earthwalk, welcome. It's good to have you, and I think you've had a great day. And then I want to thank our broadcast partners that have been with us for a while now. The Disclosure Fest Foundation is having their big annual event this weekend. And again, it's normally live. They had to switch to virtual. And want to encourage everybody that tomorrow you can still go to the Disclosure Fest Foundation and watch their conference. I know Shiva Rae is going to be on it, and they have several other amazing speakers tomorrow. Humanities Team, that's who we just met. Steve, who spoke, that's his organization. They're our new broadcast partner. We want to thank Portal to Ascension. Neil Garr does such an amazing job. He did his big event last weekend, Global Days of Unity, the Sign Network. John and Summer Raymer, who take our show and they put it out to 50, 60, 75 different Facebook groups and posts. We reach a lot of people through Sign Network. Earth Dance Global, they've got another big dance event coming up. My organization is Love Coach Academy. We provide about a dozen free online webinars every week. Our friends at Awake TV, a wonderful new network. Light Touch, that's Jay Mayer's organization, and they've been such an incredibly important part of our growth. And you can learn all about Light Touch by going to light-touch.me. Unify, probably more people are watching us on Unify right now than any other particular broadcast partners. So welcome all of our friends watching on Unify. And New Realities TV, Alan Steinfeld, he's participating in the Disclosure Fest Foundation this weekend, but we love you, Alan. And thank you for supporting all of our programs so beautifully. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into creating the shows, and hopefully what you're seeing is this incredible collaboration that's taking place. And whether or not you're a presenter or a recipient of our GoFundMe, or the thousands of you that are watching on Facebook or in our Zoom room, all of us are coming together. Everybody is important. We all have a role to play. And so I just want to encourage you to live whatever role is alive for you. We are going through a very, very big change on this planet. We all know it. We all feel it. And that's why Deborah and I and all the people you're meeting are committed to really coming together to create this beautiful new community. And it's all about supporting each other. And one of the people that is certainly a leader, Deepak Chopra, when I interviewed him earlier today, I asked him to share with us about his organization that he's created to help people who are feeling alone. And so this is part of the Chopra Foundation, the Never Alone function. And let's hear what Deepak has to say about this very important nonprofit organization, which we're also supporting tonight with your generous donations. Deepak, tell us about your nonprofit organization and the wonderful services it provides.
Our nonprofit organization is called the Chopra Foundation. It's a public 501c3 public charity, and we support an orphanage in India. We also do research on anything that has to do with consciousness, mind-body medicine, and integration. And recently, we've launched a program called Never Alone. And neveralone.love is part of the Chopra Foundation, which has a global movement to prevent suicide, but also help people facing mental challenges. Every day we learn that every 40 seconds somebody is dying of suicide in the world, and it's become the second most common cause of death amongst teenagers. So neveralone.love is a division of Chopra Foundation, creating an ecosystem in the world for support through attention, affection, appreciation, and acceptance, also through best practices, so that we can help each other with mental challenges and be there for each other. We are also creating a blockchain and a cryptocurrency to help people who don't have the ability to pay for counseling or for help in any way whatsoever. So any support for the Chopra Foundation will go either to research or for mental health and creating a global ecosystem of support for physical and mental well-being.
Deepak, that is so important, especially these days. I know as a coach, so many people are depressed, discouraged, and suicide rates are higher than ever because of all the economic uncertainty, the pandemic. So thank you for this extraordinary organization.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you very much. Very grateful for your support.
All right. Take care. Thanks a lot.
Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Namaste.
Namaste.
So there you have it. So tonight, your generous donations, just go to GoFundMe, Global Peace Tribe, support our fire captain, Michael, our disabled veteran, Melinda, and the Deepak Chopra Foundation Never Alone group. Now I'm turning it back over to Deborah for our next presenter.
Thank you, Scott. Amazing. Now we get to have some music again, which we love. And this is Madhu and Edgy, who performed at the beginning, who was so incredible and amazing. And the reason why we invited Madhu on again is because he is a sound healer extraordinaire who learned firsthand about he was paralyzed from an accident, and through sound and energy healing, he completely recovered. So he was a quadriplegic on all limbs. So amazing. And he is also performing with Edgy, who is a modern dervish traveling to find his own voice within world music. So together, we're so happy to have them back and give us an incredible music journey. Madhu and Edgy.
life of the universe. Pulse dissolve, pulse dissolve. Yeah. Pulse dissolve, pulse dissolve. This is the life of the universe. Pulse dissolve, pulse dissolve. This is the life of the universe. Pulse dissolve, pulse dissolve. Now could you be so in love that you are willing to dissolve every moment to be recreated, just to be recreated, 'cause this is the life of the universe. Pulse dissolve. This is the life of the universe, that's all it is. Pulse dissolve. That's the life of the universe. The life of the universe. We make this offering of love and devotion to the vast mystery. Offer up your whole heart to the ocean of the mystery. You'll be pulsing like a sun, pulsing like a sun, with the life of the universe. Pulsing like a sun. Your heart is opening, opening up, with the life of the universe. Pulse dissolve, pulse dissolve. This is the life of the universe. That's all it is. That's the life of the universe. Pulse dissolve, pulse dissolve. The life of the universe. Now could you be so in love that you are willing to dissolve every moment just to be recreated, just to be recreated? Could you be so in love that you are willing to dissolve every moment just to be recreated, just to be recreated? 'Cause this is the life of the universe. That's the life of the universe. Pulsing like a sun. We'll be pulsing like a sun. Every moment, without thought, without reservation, without thought, without reservation, without thought, without reservation, without thought, without reservation. Pulsing like a sun, pulsing like a sun, pulsing like a sun. We'll be pulsing like a sun, without thought. Your heart is opening now, without thought, without reservation. Life of the universe. This is the life of the universe. Pulse dissolve, pulse dissolve. This is the life of the universe. This is the life of the universe. Now could you be so in love that you're willing to dissolve every moment and be recreated, just to be recreated? 'Cause this is the life of the universe. That's all it is, honey, that's all it ever was, that's all it ever will be. Pulse dissolve, you'll be pulsing like a sun. We'll be pulsing like a sun. Without thought, life of the universe, without reservation, without thought. Pulse dissolve, pulse dissolve. With the life of the universe, pulse dissolve, pulse dissolve. That's the life of the universe. Pulse dissolve, pulse dissolve. Pulse in, pulse dissolve, pulse dissolve.
Oh, gentlemen, thank you so much, Ege and Madhu. And Madhu, we've actually had people who listened to what you had to say earlier, and they want you to repeat it just briefly about your extraordinary story. And I did an entire hour show with him because I was so impressed. So although we're already running over time a little bit, could you just briefly tell us about your extraordinary healing experience and how you used sound healing and quantum healing to change your life?
Certainly, Scott, and all the viewers this evening. My story is one of quantum healing. I got to live through the very fortunate circumstance of losing the ability to walk, move my limbs. I severed my spinal cord. I fractured my C5 and C7 vertebrae in my neck, and I was a quadriplegic, and I was on a respirator. I couldn't even breathe, and it was thought that I wasn't going to be able to walk again and that I wouldn't even have a voice again. And it was through the power of sound, vibration. When I did activate my voice again, I could feel the currents of sound as energy in my body. And I was giving Reiki to myself, and my father and my sister, among other healers, were laying their hands on me. And I had so much support from my family, from community, and I began chanting. That was when I had my deepest initiation into the power of sound, into the power of ancient sounds, chanting Sanskrit mantra incessantly 3 times a day, and then going on to learn the power of sound, studying from teachers about how vibration can transform our reality. Literally, physically, there is unlimited potential in the power of vibration, and hope that my story can inspire you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Madhu and Ege. And we're definitely going to invite you guys back very, very soon onto the show. Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Gorgeous. Thank you.
Yeah, let's just all take a breath. Gonna digest everything that we're hearing, the wisdom from people like Deepak Chopra and Jay Mayer and Shiva Rae and Madhu, and the music from Madhu and Eostar and Matthias. Just so much wisdom, so blessed we are. And I'm really pleased with our next presenter. She's a longtime friend of both Deborah and myself. And she's in Bali now, coming all the way to us from Bali. And so I'm bringing on Ajaya Summers. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Ajaya. She's done a lot. She's a gifted teacher, author, public speaker, and creative catalyst in the field of psycho-spiritual somatic integration. Let's just take those words in again. A creative catalyst in the field of psycho-spiritual somatic integration. Wow. For the last 26 years, she's been instrumental in facilitating conscious evolution in thousands of people's lives. She's the founder and the developer of a unique somatic discovery process called core embodiment. It's an integrated system of embodiment practices, principles, and perceptual obligations to awaken and align with the power of your human potential. She's a certified biodynamic craniosacral integration teacher, an NARM practitioner, that stands for Neuro-Affective Relational Model, as well as an authorized continuum teacher. We're very, very blessed to have her with us. I'm very, very blessed to somehow get through that introduction, which is a series of tongue twisters. And take it away, Shaya.
Thank you so much, Scott and Deborah and everyone. It's an honor to be here, truly. And I felt to just riff on some of what's already been shared in the field and bring some of the sharing into more of a embodied or experiential space for us. So also just riffing on what you just shared, Scott, an opportunity right now to really integrate the material. So I'm also going to be bringing in some sound healing and some various ways that we can shift our attention from being so much externally focused and bringing it more on the inside. So if you would go ahead and just allow yourselves to get comfortable in your seats. You don't have to stand up for this one. Just wiggle your seat bones in your seat and feel those long bones of your legs travel down into the earth. And I want to just invite you to take your hand and put it as far as you can out in front of you. And just let all of your attention focus in on your thumb. Let that frontal vision become very acute for a moment. And let's just let this frontal vision focus on the thumb represent all the ways that our attention is out and outsourced. And just let it happen fully for a moment. And feel what happens in the body when we're completely focused on what's before us. God bless us all for all the ways we are perfecting this art at this time. And then just bring this thumb slowly in towards your eye, all the way to your third eye. Close your eyes. And let's just allow some of that soft touch that was introduced earlier. So close your eyes and let your fingers just gently, softly caress your face, your head, your neck, your torso, as a way of saying hello to our skin, our biggest organ of detoxification, and that deeply connects us in with our nervous system, that deep, deep settling space that we can start to allow now. And eventually just let the hands come to rest somewhere around your hara, your womb space. Just find a comfortable, good fit where your hands can just hold your belly. And I like to always begin by saying something that's true. And what's true to me, and I think we can all resonate with this, is that we're grateful to be alive. So as you feel your bellies, extend your gratitude like that's vital, alive root system down into Mother Gaia, and let it be known. Let your presence, your beautiful light frequency signature extend down into this earth, and just saying deeply, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for my life. And let's take a deep breath in from the ground below, from our sweet spot and our innate bond with this planet. And draw that energy up, that yes for our lives, and bring it into the belly and bring it into the heart and fill up our torsos. And I invite you all just to exhale, to let go, to yield into gravity. And let's do that one more time. Let your attention travel all the way down into the core of the earth. Breathing in deeply into your perineum and your pelvis, and allowing that life force energy to travel up into your belly, into your solar plexus, into your kidneys, into your back body, into your heart, all the way up into the higher centers of your brain, filling and filling. And exhaling and just letting go. So what I'd like to do now that we're here and we're seated in our true place of honor, of gratitude, is to open our channels and really connect in with this quantum field, this field of miracles, which to me is inherent in just the very fact that we're alive, that sentient life itself is a miracle. So every moment is a miracle. But let's drop into the direct experience of that in a fresh way. So for me, the central axis, the electromagnetic field of the body, the midline, the organizing center is the most tangible space when we collect ourselves here, that we instantaneously join in with the larger field, the quantum field. So I'm just going to take us through a couple little embodied cues, little anchors that we can explore. So feel your sits bones again. You might wiggle in your seat a little bit. Feel those two anchors of your sits bones. And squeeze your root, like a little mula bandha or Kegel practice. Just squeeze your root. So you're fortifying yourself here in your seat. Let your shoulders drop back. Let your chin slightly drop forward and your jaw just relax. You can go ahead and let your eyes continue to stay closed and on the inside. And just notice with these cues of feeling your sits bones, your chin dropped, your shoulders back, and subtly lift your eyes a little into your crown. You can bring your tongue to your palate. And just take a deep breath again. And most likely, just breathing in your own organic timing and flow. Just freshly exploring intimately with this space on the inside. Most likely, you're going to start to feel more room for your heart to rest, for your belly to keep relaxing, and for the higher brain centers to just be open and receptive. And to really vivify this, I'm going to just bring in a simple sound that we can all explore in our own ways, in our own seats. It's the sound, we're going to do a deep E, a deep kind of lateralizing E. This comes from continuum. And you'll notice in the deep E that your field will lateralize. It will go out into the horizon. And then we're going to bring in the oo sound, which is very beautiful for feeling our vertical current, feeling the elongation. We're just going to play with this kind of primary movement motif that all of life is doing in this breathing motion. So I'll just guide us through this briefly. Go ahead and just drop into this deep E sound with your hands somewhere on your heart and your belly. Deep breath into your channel and exhaling slowly. Noticing those waves of those lateral currents. And then we'll bring in this vertical current, this oo sound. Deep breath in again. And just letting your attention notice the field above you and below you, just checking in with that vertical current. And we'll just take a breath and just allow yourself to receive the expansion, the elongation, connecting with the earth below, the cosmos above, and into your most beautiful heart. Sensing into the unified field of your brothers and your sisters and all sentient life on this planet, feeling the connection, feeling the quantum field and our innate oneness. And I invite you as we continue to allow whatever vitality, aliveness, delicious juiciness that is now more anchored and more readily available in your bodies to just keep savoring that as you continue to listen and receive the show. Thank you so much for your attention. God bless.
Thank you so much, Jaya. And I just want to let people know how else they can connect with you. You can go to her website, and it's her name, Ajaya Summers. That's spelled Ajaya Sommers, spelled SOMMERS.com. And she's got an online series called Refuge, an opportunity to discover the transformative power of relaxing into your true seat of honor, embodied practices for stewarding an authentic life. And I've known this woman for a long time, and she's the real deal. I really have a lot of respect for you, Ajaya, and really appreciate what you've done, what you've cultivated in your life. Looking forward to your return to California.
Thank you so much, and Deborah and everyone.
Absolutely. You know, Ajaya referenced light touch. It was sweet, she called it soft touch, which is what it is. It's a soft touch. And I've been practicing light touch now for quite a while, and it's amazing the miracles that happen. It's a wonderful way to start the day. Several of us every day at 8:30 in the morning, California time, we gather together and we do some light touch, we do some prayer. And to tell you a little bit more about it, here's another video. Here we go. And I want to encourage, maybe as you're watching these videos, go along with it, give it a try. Throughout my life, I've had the opportunity to study with many of the great teachers, Deepak Chopra, Marianne Williamson, Marshall Rosenberg, Tony Robbins. These are all people that I've had pretty significant contact and connection with that I've learned from. But I want to say that of all the tools I've learned, light touch is as valuable as any of them. It's simple. We all can do it. Just slowing down, awakening the senses, feeling the beauty of our body, and combining affirmations and appreciations. Doing it by yourself, doing it with another. And what it does is we create a magnetic relationship to life. And in that magnetism, we attract good fortune. We even attract abundance. And we certainly attract love in many, many ways. Look, I'm the founder of the Love Coach Academy. I'm all about, and I've been studying all my life, how to bring more love authentically into our lives. And light touch is a wonderful way to do that. That's why all of our love coaches learn the tools and practices of light touch. In fact, you're about to watch a video with some of our love coaches who have been practicing light touch and having amazing results. Let's go all the way to Hawaii to meet Timothy and Tomoko.
First, I was a little skeptical of, is this going to actually manifest anything in our life? And I have to say, from the very first day, amazing serendipitous occurrences began. And Tomoko had also been calling in a Japanese female housemate who speaks Japanese. And we now have a female Japanese American housemate who speaks Japanese. And that was the day of the first light touch session. And that was one of the affirmations that I was saying earlier.
That's pretty cool how they were able to attract something so specific. So again, we are offering through our collaboration with Jay Mayer. As you know, I've got quite a few certified love coaches, and some of them are trained in light touch. We're offering a free 15-minute discovery session to the first 10 people who fill out our survey. If you go to lovecoachacademy.com, lovecoachacademy.com, and the first thing that comes up when you go there is a survey. It takes about 3 minutes to fill it out. It just asks enough questions for us to know who you are, what you're looking for, and which of our love coaches can best support you. And then the first 10 people who do that are going to get a free discovery session, 15 minutes with one of our love coaches. If you're wanting a love coach that specializes in light touch, the survey will give you a chance to do that. And to be honest, we're going to give the free discovery session to everybody who signs up tonight. It's not going to just be the first 10, it'll be all of you, because we're here to support you. And again, I want to thank Jay for his remarkable support in making that all happen. And so now to go to our next presenter, I think it's time for a little more magic. What do you think, Deborah?
Definitely. This has been a magical night, and we're going to have another form of magic with Paul Draper back again. He's a professional magician, mind reader, comedy presenter who's been on many professional shows, worked with many magicians. And Paul would love to know what you have in store for us this time around.
Well, you know, one of the things is during all this time, I've been taking a lot of snack breaks. I've been taking a lot of snack breaks because I have to do a little self-care that way. Have you ever had an Oreo cookie before?
Yes.
Do you like single stuff or double stuff?
All of it.
All of it. I like the double stuff, but I've only been going to the grocery store once every 2 weeks. So if I get the wrong thing, I'm stuck with it. I want to make one of these double stuff. Which one? The one up high or the one down low?
High.
Up high. Okay, take the stuffing out of there, put it into there. Take the stuffing out of there, put it into there. Take the stuffing out of here, put it up into there. I need to bring you back and have you help me with all my cookies. Now, if you were going to have Oreos, what would you have to drink with them?
I'd have some orange juice.
Orange juice with Oreo cookies? Really? You're amazing. I usually have milk. And so I have an empty glass here for me, and I have an empty glass here for you, and I have an empty glass here for our guests at home. I'm going to try and make a glass of milk here. 3, 2, 1. A tall, cool, clear glass of milk right there.
Fabulous.
Now I want to take you back in time. Thank you for helping me. I'll carry it on my own for a second. I want to take you back in time to ancient Egypt, 2,300 years ago. Imagine yourself in Egypt when it was ruled by the Greeks and there was the Library of Alexandria. And in that time, there was a man named Hero of Alexandria, or Heron of Alexandria. And he wrote an amazing book called The Pneumatics of Heron of Alexandria, 2,300 years ago, filled with all sorts of amazing magic tricks with liquids, changing one liquid into another and all the things that you can do with liquid 2,300 years ago. So instead of gathering around the campfire light, we're going to gather around the computer screen to recreate an ancient piece of magic. They would have used Alexandrian glass. I have a glass milk bottle right there. And instead of filling it with milk, because I don't want to waste all the milk, I'll fill it up this time with water, just like this. Fill it up all the way to the top with water. Perfect. Now, of course, that water will spill out if I pour, right? But if I put my hand over the top, I can stop the water from coming out. If I move my hand, all of the water will pour out. So everyone help me. Wiggle your fingers at the water and make the water stay inside. Wiggle your fingers at it. I can see you not playing. 3, 2, 1, just like that, the water stays inside. But if you stop wiggling and you snap, suddenly stop, just like that, the water stops. One more time, 3, 2, 1, go. Stop. Just like that. Last chance. 3, 2, 1, go. A recreation of an ancient piece of magic from thousands of years ago, right here on the screen. Now, when I was little, I want to show you an optical illusion that fooled me, and that's how I'll close out my little bit of time here today. This used to fool me. I remember I had this. It came in a cereal box, a smaller version. Your job is to find the queen and put the pincer on it. Now, there's 2 cards, the queen, and then 2 cards, and they'd show you the back, and you take it like this, and you take with a little pincer and try and find the queen right there in the middle. Oh no, that's not the queen. That's the 10. Why? Because it's an optical illusion. See, on this side, the big card's on that side, but on this side, the big card's on this side. You see, and so it's printed false, one side and the other. And so I thought that I understood reality. I was looking for the middle, but I didn't see reality. Instead, I just saw my own perception of reality. Okay, I get it. So back here, I have to accept that that piece isn't really the one in the middle, that it's right there in the middle of that big card. But sometimes, even when I think I understand things, sometimes I still get it wrong. Sometimes the world isn't as I perceived it to be. The expert told me, that's me in this case, that it was on one side when really it was on the other. But what I found is that I can make the universe work as I need it to work. If I concentrate and I just imagine, where is that Queen of Hearts? Where's that love connection? Where's that person who I can share my love with and truth with? And I just trust my heart to find the reality of where that Queen of Hearts is. Then suddenly, with the right knowledge and the right team, I can't go wrong. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been so fun to share a little magic. Thanks, everybody.
Oh man, thank you so much, Paul. And you know what? Do me a favor, our assistant, the website they came up with for Paul Draper is a different Paul Draper. It's like a punk rock Paul Draper.
Oh no, I'm pauldraper.com.
Paul, just pauldraper.com.
Pauldraper.com, that's me. The other one is a rock star out of England.
Right. Well, that's the one that I went to, and it's like, no, that doesn't look like our Paul Draper. So I want to encourage everybody, go to pauldraper.com. And Paul, I sure hope you'll come back on the show again.
I'd love to come back. It's such a joy to be here with you and with everybody working together to make our lives better.
Yeah, thank you. You're awesome. What a wonderful community we have, right? Performers, musicians, magicians, therapists, healers, and you, every one of you out there listening, you're all just as important. And I want to, again, now take a look at more donations that have come in. Since the last time I spoke to you, we've received about another $1,500 in donations. And most of those have been anonymous, including a very, very large anonymous donation. So I just want to say thank you. We've raised about $3,500 tonight. And it's all going to go to the Deepak Chopra Never Alone Foundation and our 2 fire recipients that you met earlier. And a few names of people that also donated that didn't donate anonymously. Thank you, Lee, Monica, boy, it's almost all anonymous, Robin, and Dorothy. Thank you so very much, everybody. And again, like last time, I love having Eostar and Matthias play music after we, talk about donations, after we meet our fire victims, because their music is so heartfelt. And so as we listen to the music of Eostar and Matthias, let's drop into gratitude for the blessings of our life. And if you haven't donated yet, please do. Just go to GoFundMe and you'll find globalpeacetribe.com or Global Peace Tribe as a GoFundMe recipient, or you can use one of the links that Deborah has put into the chat box. And here's Eostar and Matthias.
So we are going to sing a song titled Namaste. And I just would like to add before we play this song that we often use this word namaste in our subculture. It's kind of very common, namaste. But
Again,
of course, we have learned that it means the spirit in me sees the spirit in you.
There's a big static problem. There's like a crackling. Well, now it just stopped. It's like a significant static problem. It did stop, but it went through the whole time that Eostar was talking.
How's that now?
No, there's like it sounds like there's something wrong with the connection, and it's creating a pretty bad crackling.
Why don't you use the other mic?
Well, they worked that out, everybody, and they will. This is a reminder that we're all coming from home, right? We're all coming from living rooms and front rooms, and I'm in my dining room. So every show is a miracle, and it is kind of remarkable what we're able to create. And so, Paul Draper, I see you raising your hand. Oh, you're muted, Paul.
Do you want me to fill some time for a minute while they fix it?
Absolutely. Would love
Let's do it.
All
Okay,
right.
so I just showed you something with an Oreo cookie, but the truth is I've been eating a lot of snacks during this shutdown because the crunch of the cookies, the crunch of the chips, it feels great, but it's getting to a point that my suit's getting a little tight. So I had to find another way to release that energy. I'm going to show you a great tool that I've been using. You can grab this from the dollar store right here. Bubble solution. Bubble solution. This is what you do. You blow the bubbles. You blow the bubbles. Whoop. I'll blow some more. Blow the bubbles. And you pop them. Pew, 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 pew. Sometimes popping a bubble, destroying that, makes me feel like I'm having some effect on the world around me, and it releases that tension and energy. But if I get a little soap on my fingertips and I'm really careful and I'm really gentle with it, sometimes I can reach up and catch one.
Wow.
And if I wiggle my fingers at it, I can make it solid and remember spending time with all of you. Okay, let's see if their microphone's up and working because I'm excited to hear their music.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, Paul. That was
All right, how are we doing over there? Does that sound better?
I think you got it.
Oh, good. Well, these technical challenges, you know.
So here's a song titled Namaste. Namaste, 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 namaste. The spirit in me sees the spirit in you. Namaste, 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 namaste. The spirit in me sees the spirit in you. I see your being, perfect and shining. I see your soul beyond beyond. I see your spirit and myself in it. Feels like I know you from long ago. I bow at your feet. You are whom I see. I see the divine in your soul. May the spirit within me honor your infinite beauty and sing you a song, soul to soul.
The spirit in me sees the spirit in you. I see your being, perfect and shining. I see your soul beyond it all. I see your spirit and my spirit feels like I know you from long ago. I bow at your feet, you are whom I see. I see the divine in your soul. May the spirit within me honor your infinite beauty and sing you a song soul to soul. Namaste, 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 namaste. The spirit in me sees the spirit in you. Namaste, 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 namaste. The spirit in me sees the spirit in you.
God, it's so good to hear your music. And this time I did find the Facebook page where you can actually see the two of you still playing. And if you go to Eostar Kamala on Facebook, that's where they're going to have their own concert starting in just a little while. So for more Eostar and Matthias, that's where you can go. And also one last place, I'll show you again their little PDF that they sent us. You can go to, they're going to be part of the G-Fest Goddess Rising, which you heard us talk about. And you can also go to their Facebook page, Web of One, or you can go to eostarandmatthias.com. So there's lots of wonderful ways to get more music. And I want to just say both of you are so generous with how much music you provide in so many ways. There's been a couple times that I've been really tired and it's like, oh my God, Eostar and Matthias are playing music free online. And I'll listen to your music and it helps me to wind down. So thank you so much. You two are just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful members of our community.
Thank you so much, Scott. It's a pleasure to be here and we feel so honored to be part of this. Thank you.
Love you guys much. See you soon.
So now we're really fortunate to have a total demonstration of someone who lives in the quantum fields and performs quantum healing nonstop. Kimberly Meredith is an internationally acclaimed medical medium and healer. After 2 near-death experiences, she experienced an incredible encounter with God and received miraculous healing gifts from the Holy Spirit. And through her mediumship and blinking eyes, she can read or seed into the body more accurately than the fastest MRI and thermography machines. And she accurately detects medical conditions. I have personally witnessed this. I have personally experienced this. It's totally amazing. She has been researched by the IONS Institute of Noetic Sciences, which is the institute that was founded by Edgar Mitchell. And she's healed many through the thousands through the Holy Spirit. So she's got a lot to share. She has a new book coming out, which is going to explain all this. She has a lot to share through deep experience. Thank you so much, Kimberly. And I think you have to unmute to make sure that we can hear you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for being with us tonight.
Thank you, everybody. It's such a pleasure to be here. I'm so excited. This has been so amazing tonight. Thank you for having me. everything has been so amazing, from Deepak to, oh my God, everybody, Jay and Scott and everything. All I can really add to everything that has been said is that through quantum healing, from light touch to Reiki, is the most important thing I feel through my practice and through the energy healing that has been going on in the last 4 years, is that we basically know that we're multidimensional people, we're multidimensional beings, and we live in a multidimensional world, and that we tap into our higher consciousness when we're dealing with these modalities, when we're dealing with quantum healing and with light touch or Reiki. And when we deal in this dimensional frequency, when we go into a higher frequency dimension, we use our breath, that we are constantly in this breath, because we come in the world on our breath and we transcend in our breath. And someone said that we don't ever die, we transcend. And when we tap into our higher consciousness, and when Deepak said we transcend to God, we're home when we go to God. Om is God. So when I witness people having miracles, and miracles happen every day around me, I see people through touch healing dissolve lumps off of them, and tumors off of them, and cancer flies off of people. And this has been documented through scientific research and spiritual. I'm an alternative practitioner, so people will come back to me after they have x-rays and say, I'm healed. And this has been going on since the days of Dr. Quinby. So more and more, this is just amazing, so exciting, because like you said, miracles are becoming the norm. And just like the band, I can't remember his name, he had a miracle. I'm an NT, I'm a miracle. Many of us are seeing miracles every day. And so it's important to understand that if you say just the simple word, yes, I believe I can be in this higher frequency and dimension, and I want to do the quantum healing, I want to do the light touch, I want to have a Reiki session, I want to have this experience, and I want to be in the fifth dimension. I want to be in this other dimension. I want to be in the highest love frequency energy. Then you shall be healed. That's very cool.
Beautiful, Kimberly.
Your guides and your angels want to help you.
Can you tell us more about your healings and what happens when you do them, and what you experience, and what your people that you work on experience?
I can do that, yes. What I do is I'm directed through my guides to go through their body, and I find every single thing through them with my mediumship, whether they have torn meniscus tear, whether they have cancer, or if they've had a bump on the head when they maybe were 5. So the guides like just to go through every single thing with them medically and also emotionally. And then I'm directed to lay hands on them and help them through the healing. But it's not me that's doing the healing. It's their consciousness accepting the healing, and it's the energy of the spirit going through their body and doing the healing. It is the energy of the quantum spirit frequency. I like to call it the energy of the God consciousness, the Christ consciousness, healing them.
Beautiful. And I know I experienced with you actual healing. When you worked on me, I experienced, you pointed out what was began to be a tumor on my breast. And you actually went through, and I could feel it, even though it wasn't manifested at that time, but it was the energetic beginning of it. And then you worked on it and removed it, and I could actually feel something being removed. And you also pointed to my neck, which I've always had a lot of problems with, and you didn't know anything about, and told me what was going on there. And when I got some x-rays, I found out exactly what you had said. So And it's
Right.
pretty amazing your abilities to work with that.
Yes, that's because when I left, when I had my NDE and I came back, I've been directed to do the work and show the work and help people, not just for me, but to help other people learn how to do it also. And so just like quantum healing and light touch and Reiki, all of it is to help us move forward into the new ascension, like we're forced to do right now, and to have this done to help us activate our consciousness into a higher frequency and talk about it and move us forward.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And you have a book coming out that's going to share a lot of this coming out next year.
St. Martin's Press is publishing it in 2021. It's called Awakening to the Fifth Dimension.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kimberly.
Thank you so much, Deborah and Scott, and for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you for the gifts. And again, you're also just so generous in how you're taking, yes, it's God-given, but you're still choosing to be the channel to bring that flow through. So thank you very much, Kimberly.
Thank you, Scott.
All right. Well, we are getting close, but we have still a couple of really important things, including our next presenter. So I want to ask Mas Sajade to open up his camera. I see your supporter is there. If you can turn your camera on so we can introduce you. And there he is, all the way from Australia. And I'm going to add you to the spotlight here. There he is. Hello, Mas.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Well, I'm in the U.S. now, but
oh, you are in the United States now.
Yes.
Okay, great, great. The last I heard, you're in Australia. So
I'm all over the place.
Well, Mas is going to talk about the science of consciousness and DNA. He's a world-renowned consciousness programmer who, through his unique techniques and meditations, shifts people's lives to an evolved and advanced frequency level. This enables people to achieve success, fulfillment, and happiness from a natural and balanced state. He's the founder of Exponential Intelligence, Metamorphosis, and Medi-Healing, and he's helped tens of thousands of people around the world break through challenging situations in their personal and professional lives, so they achieve not only success, but also significance in their lives. Mas, thank you so much. I know that you just had another event that you were doing, I believe. And
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us. And
well, thank you.
Take it away.
Oh, thanks, guys. So, I had 2 near-death experiences, and from, say, those near-death experiences, really allowing us to, say, understand who we are. And I guess the difference between me and most people is that I help you reprogram your own self, right? Or I help rewire your own self. And by the way, guys, you can ask me anything that you need to. So what that means is that what most people do is that they create, say, a loving environment or a healing environment around you, and you start to heal yourself. But and what this allows, or what exponential intelligence does, is that you can learn from other people, and then also start to generate your own frequencies of healing yourself. So you don't have to, say, step outside of your identity. You can, say, create or render your own, say, reality or consciousness. So if that makes sense to you guys. So with that in mind, what that enables us to do is that you start to focus in more and more of your powers and abilities here internally. Okay, because whenever you start to, say, gravitate to somebody else that can help you, and again, I do help other people fantastically, but you always want to learn the mechanics on how to, say, create health for yourself, and that's what what I do is, like, I help you reprogram, say, your consciousness at a deeper level. So what that means to most people on the channel here is that you start to awaken, and you start to render or create yourself from your timeless self rather than your physical form. Your physical form are always, say, bound by space and time. Okay, and many people might experience it very differently, or might say explain it differently. But it's all about space and time. So when you're in space and time, you get ill, you get diseased, you age, say like your parents, or you age like society does, and that's not true. In say the human, in the animal kingdom, they don't age like humans do, right? They get to a certain age and then they just die off, but they don't get decrepit or anything like that. So that's a myth on how humans age. The diseases that humans have, again, in 1 or 2 generations, say in the animal kingdom, they would die off. So say lions who had, say, heart issues, okay, they would say disconnect from that, or they would eliminate it from their genetic makeup in about 1 or 2 generations. Humans tend to carry on the distortions from their past generations. So humans don't really say evolve. So what I do is like reset your DNA level at a DNA level, and I'll explain why I say at a DNA level or at a consciousness level, is that people start to change. People start to say reverse age. People start to not age like their parents do. They start to say render themselves or heal themselves. This is what Kimberly was talking about as well. You know, where people like their tumors disappear, or their eyesight comes back and all that, because those are all physical based identities that you have, or physical based filters that you have. Okay, but in your spiritual form, your timeless form, or your pure presence, there is no lack, there is no anything like that. You're just having that experience here. So what I help you do is go back and clean out those filters that you render yourself here. Okay, and from that, for the most, is like literally like a transformation in a very quick manner. So so let's take a deep breath in. I don't know how much time we have, Scott, but I can do a quick meditation if you don't mind.
Absolutely. You've got about 4 minutes left.
Okay,
5 minutes.
That's perfect. So let's take a deep breath in, and instead of explaining all the details, I'll just put you into that state. Okay, and it's not just a feel-good state, and many of you might have say felt that already, but this is where you connect back to your say higher self, or your original DNA structure. So again, a strong breath in again, just noticing your spine, your lower spine. And then another breath in again. And notice I'm not guiding you into a deep state. It's not hypnosis. It's not anything close to that. I'm just changing your resonance or your frequency. And as you change your frequency, the consciousness, basically, that's changing your frequency. It starts to change, say, your DNA, or how the blueprint of how you create yourself physically here. And as that changes, this is where amazing changes happen for you. So let's get rid of some of the, say, aches and pains and so on for you. There we go. Notice how you're feeling. And again, it's not just a feel-good state. For some of you, you might not be feeling good as you remove your old patterns. But it's more of a state of being. So it's not a mental state. It's not not an emotional state. It's more of a transformation of your identity, or how you render yourself here. Strong breath in again. There you go. Notice how you're feeling as we end. And even with this, say, mini meditation, you might actually, like many of you will experience, say, changes that'll come about because of this, and all the other fantastic people on the call. And if you're interested in what I do, Moss on Sundays coming up. It's 10:15 Central Time. So, and that's a free call on YouTube. So you can join me on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel. A lot of free stuff. There's a lot of, say, deep science on how this reality works and how you can use it for, say, to create massive abundance for you. And by massive abundance, all aspects of you. So, and it really, again, transforms you at a deep level. And as we, and I don't know again how much time, but consciousness is defined in many different ways. But consciousness, in reality, is about, say, your operating system. So that's what consciousness is. If you're tapped into, say, a reality or consciousness of abuse, you're going to create abuse for you. Your DNA resonates as abuse. So you change your operating system, or you change your consciousness, you plug in and you change, say, the state of your being. So you remove abuse patterns, you remove distortion patterns, you remove ill health patterns or anything like that, including, say, wealth patterns, and you come into a natural state of abundance. Okay. So.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to actually pull your poster up one more time.
Sure.
So for people who want to learn more, his website is his name, Mas Sajade, M-A-S, another S, AJADY.com. And he has a lot to teach us about the deep science of consciousness and DNA. And clearly, as we just had a little taste right now of the state that he helped us to achieve. And thank you. And I want to invite people in the chat box. If anybody had an experience just now, pop it into the chat box. I want to acknowledge also Thomas Reynolds wrote to us that he had experienced Kimberly in New York City and had a powerful experience with her. So people like Moss and Kimberly that we're meeting, these are people that have incredible gifts that we're very blessed to have. And thank you, Moss. It's your first time on our show, and hopefully
it is. Thank you.
Back. Hopefully we'll have you come back again soon.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Well, as we're winding down, we still have one more very special treat. But I want to acknowledge two of the people that we had on the show, and we didn't get a chance to fully go to their websites. A lot of people have been talking about how touched they were by Madhu. And so this is his website, which we didn't get a chance to feature. And I'm pulling it up now. It's a really beautiful name. His website is, I have it right here, firstwasthesound.com. Firstwasthesound.com. And that's where you can pre-order his Body of Ecstasy release, which is beautiful. He has 3 other previous releases, Live from the Center, Songs from the Rose Garden, and Chaska Punku. So those are beautiful things. Also, you can support him. He has a Patreon program, which you can find on this website. So, and I know we're going to have Madhu on the show again. I'm going to ask him to be on our Straight Talk show this upcoming Friday night. Straight Talk is the sister show, if you will, of Saturday Night Live, because we obviously, even Deepak Chopra only gets like 12 minutes, right? But we have some of our guests on for longer. And next Friday night, we're going to have the theme, it'll be October 16th, and we're going to have the theme of how to deal with tragedy, how to deal with really hard stuff. And we're planning on having Fire Captain Michael, who you met earlier tonight, come on, Madhu come on, and we're going to have one more special guest, all talking about how they've overcome very, very tragic and difficult situations in their lives. So that'll be next Friday night, October 16th at 8 o'clock Pacific time. Also, the last website I want to show before we close out with some dynamic light touch is Paul Draper. Since our assistant gave us a different Paul Draper, here is the Paul Draper that we had on our show. And his website is mentalmysteries.com. And that's where, listen, if you're looking for an online entertainer, Paul's your guy. Look at how much fun he is. So he is available, and somebody that if you're putting together a fun party, a birthday party, we're all doing everything online birthday parties, bring Paul on, let him come on and liven up your whatever it is you're doing. I also see that a lot of people, Moss, have acknowledged what they experienced. Jennifer writes, I felt more peaceful. Wylea writes, my back felt better. Lorna writes, I felt such a deep release with Moss. A lot of people just saying, thank you, felt good. Thank you, Moss. Love you, Moss. These are all different comments. Calming, there was pain relief. So thank you, everybody, for sharing the experiences that you had with us. Finally, before we go to our last official event, which is going to be a really beautiful light touch experience, I want to let you know that we do open up to community connections. So if anybody wants to come on and share for 1 minute about what they were inspired by, anything that really touched them on the show, or if any of our presenters want to come back and speak, we're going to have just a few minutes for that. And then we're going to ask people to go to Star and Matthias and what they're going to be providing. Because I know that's how I'm going to wind down. I'm going to have dinner and I'm going to listen to their beautiful music. But if any of you do want to come on, please put your name and what you want to say into the chat box, and I will promote you from our audience, where we've got about 234 people right now, into the panel where then you can speak. All right. But now Jay Mayer put together some really beautiful videos. And if you go to his website, Light-Touch Me, there's many videos there. But this is one that he put together just recently, very specifically for our show, called Perfect Love. And as we watch this, let's receive the transmission. There's a beautiful transmission. It's good music. It's a little psychedelic. Perhaps touch yourself, awaken your senses, and drop into the beautiful spirit of light touch as we watch this video. beautiful. There's such a purity and simplicity to light touch. And isn't it interesting how some of the greatest things in life are simple, pure, deep. And so if you want to learn more about light touch, you can go to light-touch.me or go to lovecoachacademy.com and fill out our survey. I see that a few people have actually already filled out the survey tonight, and you'll get a free 15-minute discovery session. And so it's now my pleasure. I'm going to briefly turn it over to Jay. And Jay, I think you're going to lead a little light touch for everybody.
That sounds good. Light touch is to be shared. It's a gift. In the pandemic, there's all this suffering and people need help. And light touch is a tool that, like, right out of the heart of the pandemic, there's a gift, that we have the power to attract good fortune. We have the power to attract finances. And especially if you're with a partner, if you have someone else, you can attract miracles together with light touch. And it's the most beautiful way to heal your relationship is with Love Coach Academy and light touch. And it's a divine appointment for me. And that's what we offer. We invoke divine appointments. That's a beautiful thing. One divine appointment can change your life forever. So one of the things that I like to do with light touch is we bless others. When you're blessing your partner, you're blessing someone else, and then they bless you right back. So you're circulating the blessings, and it becomes even more powerful. So if anybody who wants to, you can use your fingers. Our hands are very powerful. Jesus healed with his hands. All the avatars we create with our hands. Our parents were creating with their hands when we were born. So light touch, when we consciously draw to ourself healing and miracles and exponential financial blessings, it's really beneficial. That's why we teach daily practice. So anyone who wants to, we could bless everyone watching, with all your heart, with your most heartfelt blessing. Please bless everyone. And if you believe in the angels, we ask the angels to help us to have divine appointments, with meaningful synchronicities. And this is one of the ways that light touch takes hold, is that we see that it makes sense and it works, that we can turn ourselves on and we become activated to send a message to our own divine self. It's really beautiful to activate your electromagnetic system to reach the angels. I call them blissful sensations. And blissful sensations, when directed towards the spirit, activate the higher chakras. Just like blissful sensations, when they're towards the sex, activate the sexual chakras. So the goal of light touch is to activate all the chakras, and you'll get memories from your past and memories from the future, because you're blessing your future every time you invoke spiritual wellness.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your generosity and all that you give to our world. And thank you tonight for your very beautiful generosity for our fire recipients and our GoFundMe. Thank you. We do have one or two people that wanted to come into Community Connections. I haven't met either of them before, so I'm going to introduce them briefly, and then I'm going to give Deborah a chance to say goodnight. And then we're going to follow Easter and Matthias merrily down the road to their Facebook page. But Darren, this is your first time on our show. I see the Aurora Borealis behind you. What did you want to share, Darren?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. I just want to express my appreciation to the people who were talking about quantum healing and sharing quantum healing and fifth dimensional healing, because it's something that I do in my work, and yet I don't know too many other people that work in that. So it's so great to hear it spoken about. And on this show, people don't just speak about it, they emanate it. And so tonight I've actually been, while I've been listening, I've been filling out letters to send to undecided voters, which I've been doing quite a lot of. And so beautiful to listen to this higher consciousness that is something that's so much beyond all the partisan, polarized level of what's going on in our society. There's that oneness that people are talking about and bringing in. And that's really, to me, the highest form of politics, is bringing this oneness. And, you know, there's just practical, I'm just kind of combining practical actions I can do while being in this dimensional with you guys. So thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Darren. It's great to have you. And thank you for your dedication to getting people out to the vote. And you're right, Deborah and I feel very strongly about this show always being inspirational and bringing people together. That's why we have no idea what's going to happen, but that's why we're going to have a show right after the election, just about bringing everybody together, regardless of how things go. So thank you. And it's great to have you with us, and hopefully you'll come back again sometime.
And can I say one more thing?
Sure.
And that's that I have a vision that above the polarization or the partisan experience, there is this point of oneness for the United States of America. That's the original inspiration for our country. Like, there was tremendous downloads when our Constitution was created, and that we have the opportunity to help fulfill it now and to never believe in anything less than that. So that's my vision.
That's a beautiful vision, and maybe so. Let's all take a minute. Maximum grace for this country.
Yes.
Maximum grace for this country. May we fulfill our beautiful potential. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, we have one other person also who has wanted to come on. She's coming to us from San Francisco, and I think I'm going to pronounce your name properly. Denhi? Hi, Denhi.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Denny. I am Mexican. I'm a native, and today is Indigenous Day. I'm very proud to be here. I follow you guys every week, every Saturday, definitely. It's not my first time. I'm just very grateful that there are programs like this where make, you know, the unification of all tribes and all peoples, you know. I think that this pandemic is an awakening time. It is time that we have permit our Mother Earth, Pachamama, to heal, you know, the four-legged spirits to heal, you know, because as a human beings, I believe that we are the most destructive animals on this planet. And it's an encouragement to see, you know, programs like this and the message that you create, and to know that we can heal ourselves. I am a survivor of cancer, and I do believe that we have the power. We have the power to show our bigness and our togetherness, and unity. Community is the only way that we can survive in this planet that we have destroyed so much. So thank you so very much. It was touching. Every person that came, the musicians and the teachers, you know, Deepak, you know, I followed Deepak for years, and it's hope. You giving a message of hope, and all the work that you guys do is so very much appreciated. I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
That is just the most perfect way to end our show. That's why I wanted to bring Deborah on, because she works so hard. This woman is all day long putting this show together. And I also want to give a shout out to Shiva Rae, our other producer on the show, and Jessica and Lindsay for their thanks. And Danny, thank you. Your appreciation means a lot to us. Thank you very much. And thanks for watching every week. And with that, I'm going to put the spotlight on Deborah so she can say goodbye, and then I'll direct us one last time to Eostar Matthias.
Thank you, everyone. When we get to this part of the show, Scott and I are just so amazed because it's always so beautiful. There's so much love, there's so much connection, there's so much resonance, there's so much connection between us all, working towards this positive cosmic reset that we're all on board for. And we know this show helps to affirm that because we're all on board for that. So just thank you so much to the presenters. They're always so amazing. And the musicians this time are really incredible. So much love. And we're doing it again next week. It's going to be an amazing show. The theme is creating our new world, activating the divine feminine within us. And as I shared before, we didn't know that the Women's March was going to be happening. There are going to be women and men marching all over the United States, especially in Washington, D.C., to raise consciousness of all the things the divine feminine are about, nurturing and healing and really coming together in a way of love and supporting everyone. So this force is going to be happening while we're doing our show and really activating the divine feminine in everyone. We're talking men, women, everyone, that principle of love and connection and nurturing that needs to come back into our society and into our hearts. We're going to have Kaya Ra, Matt Kahn, who's speaking as the sacred masculine, Laura Eisenhower, Elizabeth Wilcock, Camille Mortiz, also an array of additional musicians, incredible musicians, Suzanne Sterling, Felicia Rose, Sarita. We're going to have a collective reading for everyone that's going to be watching from a very experienced tarot reader, Magic, and see what she has to say. And we're also going to have sacred dance. And then we have 10 more shows through December. So it's going to be another amazing journey, and we appreciate you all for watching, and thank you so much for your donations to GoFundMe. It is really incredible to spread this money out to those people in need, so thank you so much. And thank you, Scott, for holding the sacred masculine space that you do to make this work.
Thank you, Deborah. You're
Much love.
an amazing partner. Just an amazing partner. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. It's really fun watching the comments coming in the chat box, really hearing your appreciations. For the person who wants to know, will there be a replay? Yes. Everyone who registers, as soon as we have your email address, you will receive on Monday an email that Deborah puts together that's got the replay of this show and also a way to find our previous shows. So I'm going to go to gallery view so we can see kind of the people that are still with us. And my God, there's Jan and Kimberly and Jay. So thank you, everybody, so much for being with us tonight. And let's all go to, I'm going to go there one more time. I want to remind you that if you go to, I'm going to share screen it. If you go to Facebook and you go to Eostar Kamala, Facebook.com/Eostar Kamala, that's where you'll be able to see the live offering that Eostar and Matthias are about to put on. Also want to just remind you that if you go to Love Coach Academy, and I'll kind of share a screen with that, this is an opportunity for you to find a love coach and to get a free discovery session and to learn more about light touch. So it's real simple. You just go to lovecoachacademy.com and see right away it says, welcome to Love Coach Academy, start. And if you click right there, that takes you into where you can just answer some real quick questions. I'm single and I'm currently not dating, and so on and so forth. And it goes into different questions so that we can learn all about you. So come to Love Coach Academy. I'll see some of you on the Eostar Matthias page. Hope to see all of you next Friday night for Straight Talk, and of course Saturday night for the Divine Feminine show. And I guess that's it. Thank you, everybody. It's been a beautiful, beautiful night. Take care and have a beautiful weekend.